Hey Scruffy, how you doing? So you ready for dinner? Yeah, so I got your hearty cuts with grilled chicken and beef and kibble. I guess it means you're ready, huh? Okay, I'll bring it out. We're about on time for dinner tonight. I think I'm a little bit early, but not by much. Close the door. Yes, I'm going to change the water. So there's a lot left. It's a hot day today. Surprised you didn't drink more. Okay, and then okay, let me get the glove on. So yeah, it's another hot day. And it looks like we're gonna get another set of hot days like this. I don't think there's any sign of a cool down for the cough. So I actually got a full night's sleep for once. Oops, it's another cough. So I saw Scruffy a bunch throughout the day, actually yesterday too. I never saw him coughing. Huh. So I don't know, does he only cough when I'm here, or does he cough at other times and I just don't see it? Lifted up his foot there. So, yeah, as I was saying, I woke up kind of late because I actually got a full night's sleep for once. Not sure how that happened. Ah, I think that's a purr. So I got a late jump today. I had to do some stuff this morning, so couldn't go out for my run immediately. So by the time I was free, it's getting a little close to noon. I checked the weather report, and once again, it was one of those days where it's not going to get any cooler. So my best shot is now, or when I was looking at the weather report, because it's just going to get hotter and hotter. And it was a clear day, no clouds, so the sun was going to be at its full intensity. The haze looks like it's starting to lighten up a little bit. So the smoke that's been in the air for the past couple weeks seems to finally be on a declining trend, but you can still see it. So I went out for my run a little bit before noon, and I could feel the sun beating down on my back as I was walking to the park, and I knew it was going to be a rough run. So it reminds me of last week a little bit. So I think last week was a very similar situation. I think I actually left on time though, or earlier, but it was already getting hot. And so I think the sun was clear. And the day before, I think I'd taken a recovery day. So yesterday I had a recovery day as well. And I was talking about all my appliance mechanical problems. So I didn't get to go out for a run. I just did pull-ups. So last week I was coming off a recovery day, and I was surprised at how well I did on my run. I think I attribute it to probably the recovery day, and maybe just because I think maybe it was a little bit cooler. But I was generally surprised I did as well, because I think it was still too hot. So today I was kind of hoping I might get a repeat, since I had a recovery day, got a full night's sleep for once, which should really help me. Despite it being hot, but it was too hot. So I did actually pretty badly today. Pretty slow time. I finished, but yeah, that was a rough run, and I was feeling the heat pretty much the whole way. So happy to get that run over with. Fortunately, it looks like the next week is probably not going to be any better. So still a chance the forecast will change, but I think it's going to be miserable. I think Scruffy's calming down here. I think he wants his food. Want your food? I think you want your food. Okay, another cough. Hope you don't throw up tonight. Okay, I think I'm done. So I saw Scruffy hanging around, I think, a lot of the day today. And actually, I saw him a lot yesterday, too. So I think after his disappearance 2 nights ago from dinner, he might be hanging around here more, just so he doesn't miss dinner. Again. Still not sure why he missed dinner. So my original theory is still the one I'm holding. So I think he may have left the yard late afternoon and got cut off because I was watering the garden and he didn't want to cross the moat, so to say. So there's a puddle that gets created when I water certain plants, and it's right where he crosses under the fence to get into the yard or out of the yard. So maybe he just didn't want to get wet. So I mentioned yesterday when my dishwasher broke, I was seeing Scruffy sleeping on the table through the kitchen window. It was the middle of the night, so I didn't bother recording it because the lighting would have been terrible. But then next morning I saw him sleeping on the table again. So he'd moved a little bit, so he probably had gotten off at some point and then got back on the table. So he was sleeping, I think, closer to the blanket. So when I saw him in the night, he was sleeping next to that air conditioning piece that I left on the table. But he was sleeping on the table. I don't think he noticed me. I don't remember. And then at some point later, he jumped down, and I caught him drinking water. And I think this is the longest drink I've ever seen him take. So he took his time. I didn't get the full thing because he was drinking some water, and I noticed, he was taking a long time to drink. So I said, well, maybe I should record this. I kind of figured, by the time I get the camera, he'd be gone because it'd take me a while to get the camera and start recording. But he was taking such a long drink, I was able to get the camera, bring it back, start recording, and he still took a long time drinking. So that was an impressive drink. But there's still a lot of water in his bowl. So I assume he actually drinks even longer than that at night, because usually overnight his bowl, usually more than half gets drunk. So I'm assuming he takes a lot of drinks throughout the night, and probably some of them are long. And then I think he walked back onto the deck near the round table and started grooming himself. Itch, sorry. So I think I saw him on the deck in different places, grooming himself and sleeping throughout the day, most of the afternoon, and both yesterday and today. I think forgot which day it was. At one point, he was actually sleeping on the different part of the deck, next to a railing and some shade. He was in an angle where it was really hard to film him because the window screen mesh is in the way, so I didn't bother. My camera has a hard time focusing through that mesh. A lot of times it tries to actually focus on the mesh itself, and then everything else behind it's blurry. But for the most part, he seemed to be just hanging out in the yard all day. Definitely yesterday, and then I think probably today as well. So I don't think he wants to risk missing dinner. But we'll see if that changes. He seems to change his pattern of behavior a bit. So as I mentioned, I have not seen him sleep on the table in probably several months until yesterday. And then he keeps moving where he's waiting for me to open the door. So he used to sit on the mat, and sometimes he was right next to the door. And then recently he's been moving to the potted plants. And then I think yesterday he was here under the chair, or next to the chair. And then he's also been back around the corner. And I think he just likes moving his position around. And then he also changes his behavior when he leaves. So in the last several weeks, he's just been leaving right after dinner. He hasn't been sticking around. So after he left last night, I ended up watering the rest of the garden that I didn't get to. I did replace the hose nozzle with the new one I bought. And I need to buy a new I don't know what you call them, a hose end that has the threads so you can screw in the nozzle, because yeah, it's leaking. So even though the old one was leaking through the nozzle itself, I think it was leaking both through the nozzle and through the connection. And so now this new one, it's not leaking through the nozzle, but it is still leaking on the connection to the hose. So I still got soaked. Not as badly, but I need to buy a new one so I don't get soaked all the time. So it's like Scruffy's about done. Doesn't want any water tonight. Looks like he's gonna take off. Yep. Okay, folks, guess that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.